Okay, this is the conclusion of the 2020 draft analysis for the whole AFC conference. And we're going to close with the reigning defending AFC North champions, the Baltimore Ravens. After this, we still have NBA and MLB coverage still to come. So here we go. With the first round, 28th overall pick, the Ravens drafted Patrick Queen, linebacker out of LSU. I gave the pick an A. It's a need. There's no doubt about that. And I think it's a good pick. I like Queen. He was good last year for LSU. It was his first year as a starter. I think he's going to get even better with more experience. And I think, inexperience and inconsistencies in tackling angles, play diagnosing, hitting the wrong gap. I think those were his flaws last year. That stood out, and I think those all go away. Once he plays more, gets more experience. So overall, I think it was a good pick. They need an inside linebacker, and I think they got the right guy. That even in 5 years, he could become one of the better ones in the league. So good pick for Baltimore with Patrick Queen. Their second round pick, 55th overall, they drafted J.K. Dobbins, running back at Ohio State. I gave this pick an A, and I know that running back's not a need for Baltimore, but this was a great pick. The Ravens now have Mark Ingram, Lamar Jackson, and J.K. Dobbins in the backfield. And the reason I like this pick so much, not just because I like J.K. Dobbins and I thought he was going to be good coming out of college, but also because I do not think that Dobbins is going to have to carry a load, the whole running load, like a Derrick Henry and Ezekiel Elliott, which is only going to do wonders for his career. He's not going to be worn out, not going to be plagued with injuries. He's not going to be, in 5 years, not going to be able to run more than 10 yards. Ezekiel Elliott. So, it's not gonna, and he's just gonna be able to, come in, do the plays that match his ability, and I think in this whole, it just really explodes their backfield, opens it way up, and I think when you're asked to do less of a big role earlier on, I think he'll be able to ease into the NFL, which is scary. I think their whole backfield is scary, and playing this offense is starting to become even more and more scary. I'm glad I'm not a defensive coordinator, a defensive player, or a head coach for that matter in this division, or that's going to play them. So, yeah, very good pick. I gave it an A. That takes us to their third round, 71st overall pick, Justin Madubuike, or Buke. I gave it a B+. It's a need. He's a defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. Sorry about that. It's a need, and I think Madubuike has the size and the strength to be good in this league. And now that Calais Campbell is in Baltimore, I think he'll be able to learn from him, get some of his skills or traits or techniques, and I think he can help. That'll really help him take his game to the next level, fine-tune his skills, and become something of value in the NFL. So, good pick. I think it'll develop nicely. With their third round, 92nd overall pick, they went and got Devin Duvernay, wide receiver from Texas. Liked Duvernay a lot coming out of college. I gave this pick an A. I think this offense now as a total is becoming scary. Duvernay, when it's all said and done, he might be one of the better wide receivers at this draft class, especially at the slot. He ran a 4.39 40, a 10.27, 100-meter dash in high school. I mean, this kid is a burner. I could definitely see him, you fix his route running and get it more controlled and accurate and not all over the place. I think he's going to be one of the better slot receivers in the league if they could get that fix. His deep threat ability, the 50-50 balls, and the route running do need to get fixed. I think as it pertains to the deep ball, given his 5'11" size, I think, keep him at slot, it will be fine. I could see him being good underneath. I don't think you need to air it out and throw it to him. But I think he could become a very, silent weapon for that offense moving forward. So good pick in my opinion, just making that offense that much stronger. That's why I gave it an A. With their third round, 98th overall pick, they had 4 third-round picks. They drafted Malik Harrison, linebacker out of Ohio State. I gave this pick a B+. Again, I think they're addressing that need in linebacker. And I think Harrison has experience. He has the size, and he's got great run-stopping abilities. His coverage is not good, but he has experience at all the linebacker positions. I could see him becoming a rotational linebacker, but given his poor play recognition and sometimes getting caught up in the play action, I don't think he'll be a starting middle linebacker in the league. They could maybe move him to outside linebacker every once in a while, but I would see him more as a rotational guy rather than a 3-down starting linebacker, but I could be wrong. And, he could get better at those things, which is why I like the pick a lot, and that's why I gave it a B+. It's a need, so it's not like they have a lot there. So, he'll get his playing time, he'll get his experience, and he might develop. With their last third-round pick, 106 overall, they drafted Tyree Phillips, guard out of Mississippi State. I gave this pick a B. I believe this was another pick that they had to do, with the Hall of Famer Marshall, or soon to be, once he waits his 5 years, Marshall Yanda retiring. It leaves a big void in guard that hasn't been there since he got there. So this could be a very good temporary option or even a long-term option, depending on how Phillips develops and gets comfortable in the NFL. He'll be better for the Ravens than he would be for other teams. He's an inside run blocker. When you ask him to move around, that's where it gets bad. Pass plays where they got to move, not good. Rolling out, not good. Moving up the field on the run blocks, not good. Laterally, not good. Agility is poor, but again, strength as just a pure wall blocker on the inside, very good. Power offense, run the ball. I think that's why I think he'll be good for the Ravens offense specifically, which he's a lot like their 4th round, 143rd overall pick. Ben Bredson, guard out of Michigan, same type of guy. I gave the pick a B-. I think he's very similar to Phillips, lacks the range, lacks the agility, good inside, which will be, I think he'll benefit from Baltimore's offense. And that takes us to their 5th round, 170th overall pick, Broderick Washington Jr., defensive tackle out of Texas Tech. I gave the pick a B-. It's a need. He's 6'2", 305 pounds, good size, very big, very strong, very powerful, intelligent, great work ethic. He's got leadership abilities. So I think while he'll probably just be a rotational piece on their line, I do think he's a huge bonus for the sideline and locker room, which will keep his spot on the team. Takes us to their 6th round, 201st pick, James Proche, wide receiver out of SMU. I liked him even more than some of the scouts and everything, and even mock drafts and things saying he would go in the 7th or not at all. I think I gave the pick a B. I like him. He plays hard. He plays motivated. He likes and enjoys playing football, and then you can see the drive. And I think that mentality will enable him to develop quickly. And I think, for the next how many years, I think he could be a silent number 4, number 5 wide receiver for Baltimore or the backup slot. He can punt and return. He just plays hard, and it's, maybe, you don't have all the athletic traits or you're slightly slower, but I think he could be just fine in the NFL. And when you're talking about 6th round to get something like that, I think it's a good pick. So with their last pick in the draft, 7th round, 219th overall, they picked a Geno Stone safety out of Iowa. Less a fan of this one. It was probably their worst pick of the draft. I gave it a D. I didn't think safety was a need for them. I can't remember. But I also don't think Stone. You just athletically speaking, it's like too far behind and everything. Size, speed, strength. So no, he's not savvy enough, not smart enough football wise to make up for that and those athletic differences. So I think given that, I don't think he's going to be able to make it in the NFL level, and that's fine. But I don't think he's going to be the guy. So drafting safety, interesting move. Not sure why they did it, and I don't think they drafted a good one either. So, but out of 10 picks, they drafted well. That's why I gave them an A minus. They got good players to beef up their offense, and you're like, oh my goodness. And then they also took care of some needs. So, overall, good draft. Again, Baltimore's front office usually knows what they're doing. So, it's a very good job for John and the whole Ravens front office, as they did a good job in my opinion. So, that is it for AFC 2020 draft analysis. Starting next week, we're going to start NFC draft analysis. So, that'll be good, and then we're going to head right into the MLB and NBA coming up next. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching Everything Sports. I'm your host, Nicholas Gendian. Thank you.